Beautiful day in the city, except not really. It's hot as shit. And I have a conspiracy theory that I'm fleshing out, that I'm working on, that I'm thinking about. I think they're lying to us about the temperature. I think they're lying to us about the temperature outside, folks. Shirt is tough, Mr. Biased. Did I say what happened to what happened with this? Adidas, the outlet store. I talked about it. What's with the new DL Dallas podcast? Is it worth watching? Yeah, big deal. You know, I don't want to, you know, obviously I am a big deal, right? That goes without being said, really. But I knew about it in advance. I knew about it. Wasn't supposed to say anything. You know, there was some talk that my name was maybe mentioned as a possibility. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to hear about that, you know? I'd rather not hear about it. It was a possibility and it didn't happen. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what somebody told me, and I won't say who. But anyways, what are we talking about today? Honest to God, and I know I say this every time we start a stream, especially at this point in the offseason. I honest to God don't know what the fuck we're going to discuss today. We're really reaching right now. We're really reaching. Now, the good news is Bleacher Report keeps churning out these articles. CeeDee Lamb just got 3 hour stream. It's true. CeeDee Lamb just got paid, like literally just now. My Gunners 2-0. Hey, and you be happy to know my Gooners in the chat. I've watched both games. Now, in my 6 to 7 years of being a Manchester United fan, I only watched one full game. So I'm 2 for 2. I've watched 2 full games. What a win, huh? That was a great win for Arsenal on Saturday. That was a great win. Arsenal wants to win the league this year. That's a win they absolutely had to have, man. That's and I actually you want to know what's funny is I actually watched the Manchester United game. So the embarrassing fucking loss that they just had. Yeah, it was a tough watch. I mean, honestly, thought Arsenal. This is just coming from somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. And Arsenal won 2-0. But I thought Arsenal was a little lucky. To get out of there with a win. It felt like the first 50 to 60 minutes of the game, they were not the better team. And Villa was just squandering opportunity after opportunity. Now, again, that's from somebody who doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. But it was a nice win for the Gunners. What do we think, Bubba? Bubba's the resident, ball. Thank you. I've learned this, that I can talk confidently about something I don't know what I'm talking about. I have won. I won a public speaking competition in college. Got up in front of thousands of people and gave a public speech. A lot of people think I have a career in politics. Winning those kind of games are important if you want to become champion. And we do. We do. Believe you me. Okay, we can talk about the 2K ratings too. That's what we're going to talk about. What up, TGK? All right, let's get this going. We haven't gotten 10 out of 10 since I think the first time we've done this. Who's the Pacers' all-time leader in 3 points made? Holy shit. I actually feel like this is a trick question. Oh, it's Reggie Miller. I'm a dumb fuck. Why did I think that was a trick question? From 2002 to 2021, this MLB team didn't make the postseason once. That's the Mariners. Come on, we got to get 10 here. We got to get 10. Which of these sports will not return to the 2028 Olympics? Is that breakdancing? All right, well, process of elimination. Which country won silver in the men's basketball at the 2024 Olympics? France. All right, here we go. This is a 10. This is a 10 out of 10. These are cake. These are easy. Who's the reigning NBA Sixth Man of the Year? Nas Reed. The blue blood hoops team that has made the men's. Here we go. I just lost. Men's NCAA tournament 34 consecutive times. I mean, it's got to be Duke, right? Fuck! When did Duke miss? When did Duke miss the tournament? When did Duke miss the tournament? Turn this damn song off, man. Last year, I did watch Arsenal. That's what I was saying. I watched Arsenal. Yep. Fuck me, man. This is a joke. Last year? They really didn't make it last year? Yeah, I mean, I don't try to hide it. I don't watch college basketball whatsoever until March Madness, and I don't try to pretend that I do. I don't try to pretend that I do. Are Arsenal winning it all over City? City's look good so far, but I feel like they've played cupcake teams, right? I mean, who has City played so far this season, huh? Ipswich, who just got promoted for the first time in 20 years. Chelsea, who has 55 players that they're trying to figure out. Like, yeah, fucking right. You know. Yeah, but I feel like this is the time you want to play Chelsea right now when they're trying to figure out which of their 60 players they want in the lineup. So it's a good start for Arsenal. People are sleeping on Chelsea. They'll be better as the season goes along. They're not in proper form yet. Who do my Gunners play this weekend? Brighton. Okay, that's a toughie. That's a bit of a toughie. Brighton's 2-0. They won their first game 3-0 against Everton. I actually believe it or not, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've watched that. I've been watching the Premier League because Everton got a red card. Oh, and then, yeah, they beat Man United. Just a horrible fucking Manchester United performance, man. Holy hell. Embarrassing stuff. Thoughts on Cole Palmer? What did he have? 3 assists? 3 assists, right? They beat the Wolves 6-2, man. 3 assists and a goal? Wasn't that what he had? You guys aren't ready for EPL slightly, man. Locked in and loaded. I'm locked and loaded. All right, so here's the deal, right? With this type of stuff. Keep Stats Brain out of the beautiful football game. Somebody please point me to the equivalent of kitchen sink in football. I need to be aware. Field tilt. Hey, point me to where do I go to see it? CeeDee Lamb finally gets paid, the second highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. My question is, what the fuck took? Just do this originally. And here's the thing. Here's what it is. And here's what it always is these guys don't want to go to training camp. That's what it always is. I don't want to go to fucking training camp. I'll sign it 1 week before the season starts. That is what it always is. Hey, and respect. We respect that here. But that's exactly what it is. Act like it's anything other than I don't want to go to training camp. I will hold out, sign the contract a week before the season starts. Okay? Simple as that. Simple as that, all right? That's all. I have nothing else to add to this. Hopefully the Cowboys make it to the conference championship game. That's all I care about. I don't care about anything else the Cowboys do until January. I don't care what they do. It doesn't matter to me what the Dallas Cowboys do between now and January. Whenever they get to a conference championship game, I'm in. That's it. Congratulations. It's so funny. Like, this CeeDee Lamb's like widely considered like a maybe if you take out quarterbacks, like a top 5 player in the NFL. 4 years, $136 million. That's like, a good 3rd or 4th starter in the NBA. Talk about Luka wait fast. I need to go in about 10 minutes. Well, I don't think he needs to fast. I think he looks good. Oh, man. That was good. I'm proud of that. Can somebody send? Well, I don't think you can send links in here. Luka Doncic. I'm trying to find the video that's going around and circulating. So the game of the Dragon, is that what Night of the Dragon? Goran Dragic's. It's funny. I saw people tweet out like, "Damn, I didn't know Goran Dragic had motion like this." Man, the Slovenians don't fucking around, man. I've been trying to tell people this. The Slovenians don't mess around. Of course they love Goran Dragic, man. Of course. And naturally, Luka, messing around led to the Luka Weight Watchers making an appearance, which, this was really the clip. Wait, where's the clip that was circulating of Luka running the ball up the court that everybody wanted to get off? Here it is. I'm going to be honest with you. I had family stuff. I did not watch this. So this is the clip making its rounds. And yes, obviously, Luka, we've watched Luka in the All-Star game. If Luka doesn't care about a game, right, we've seen Luka regular season games against the Pelicans. If Luka doesn't care about a game, you get a certain amount of effort, and this is it. There's no problem with that. What people are looking at is the size. And this clip does, now, is this stretched? Everybody looks fat. So this might be a video compression thing. And like the video is condensed down, right? So it makes it look as though these guys are bigger than they actually are. I think that's part of it.
I will say.
Yeah, it is also, Elon Musk's incredible app. Elon Musk's incredible platform. The quality of the videos naturally is horrible, right? It's 2007 quality. So this is what's going around. Everybody's calling him fat. As you can see, 2.8 million views with 1.9 thousand likes. So as you can imagine, people are quote tweeting this and getting their jokes off. Somebody set him up. This is the problem here. Somebody set him up. Now I want to point to this photo here. And what do I mean by somebody set him up? I want to point to this photo here. Okay. Why is Luka in a 5X? Why is Luka wearing a 5X? Now, I can relate to Luka. And I know anytime I do this, anytime I talk about Luka's weight, people are, hey, shut up, fat ass. Look, I get it, right? Here's the thing, right? I'm not really fat. I'm more just kind of broad. I've lost a lot of weight, right? So, getting huge, right? Muscular, all of that. But I'm similar to Luka in the sense that I can never be skinny. Knock on glass, right? Unless something happens to me. I can never be skinny. My body just wasn't built to be skinny. Even at my peak fitness form, back in the good old days, it wasn't a skinny. And the same thing can be said for Luka. He just doesn't have that body type, and that's completely fine. Right? I think from pictures and stuff that I see, he was skinny 9 months ago. Not skinny like in the sense of like an NBA athlete. Like he's always going to be broader and bigger. That's just his body type, right? There's plenty of guys like that in the world. There's plenty of basketball players who have been like that as well. Other pictures I've seen of Luka this offseason, he actually looks pretty good. Like, I look at this video. He looks good. He looks in shape. He looks relatively skinny. Right? And this is what it is. And I've come at this before. I've said this before. I come at this from a place of personal experience as well. Baggy clothes don't do well for you. If you have a certain body type, baggy clothes don't help your cause at all. Okay? Baggy clothes don't help. So, who gave him this jersey? Who did it? I want to know. I want to know who the fuck gave him the 5X. But he's not as skinny when he was 18. All right, so this was going around as well. Jason Timpf, who I do really like. I think he does good stuff. I know some people don't like him. The problem is when you do NBA stuff, especially if you just do broader NBA stuff, people, if you ever have one opinion about their team that they don't like, you're done. You're absolutely finished. He tweeted out this clip. That was bizarre. The bizarre part about seeing Luka game winner against the Clippers in 2020 that was going around the other day, he looked so much leaner and faster. We keep talking about Luka getting in shape, but it seems like he's heading in the opposite direction. So again, I think that this is a disingenuous clip to sort of make that conclusion, jump to that conclusion. I want to see if did somebody quote this with the clip of Luka's game winner where, yes, he was smaller and skinnier. But part of that is Luka was, 20 years old in the bubble? I mean, guys grow into their bodies, man. 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds are still growing into their body. And for Luka's play style, being a little bit bigger and stronger, it bodes better for him. Because even when he came to the league, this idea, Luka was quicker and leaner. Luka was never this athlete, right? I searched Luka on Twitter, and the first thing that pops up is Luka fat. Unbelievable. Luka was never this, absurd athlete, right? He never was. I mean, not athletic in the sense that, oh, my God, he's so quick, this insanely quick first step, stuff like that. He's athletic in his ability to stop on a dime, in his strength.
Smith to inbound.
So they're talking about this. I mean, he
Back
obviously
to
does look
Doncic.
smaller. But again, he's 20 years old.
Doncic pulls up, three-pointer. Bang!
So great. This is when I knew Luka was absurd. This was this specific moment right here was all-time great.
Bang! It's good. Doncic.
Oh, and this happened
The buzzer.
4 years ago, 3 days ago.
Doncic pulls up, three-pointer.
So yeah, he looks smaller and skinnier, but he's 20 years old, man. He grew into his body. He just had the best season of his career. He just made the NBA Finals. And I think in a lot of ways was in the best shape of his life for most of the season. This is a guy who was leading the league in minutes per game during a solid chunk of the season. And then unfortunately dealt with a knee injury. Now, the thing that I always say that gets me in trouble, and again, let's look at this video. Look how fucking big the jersey is. That's all it is. Look how goddamn big the jersey is. Who gave him that? Who gave him that jersey? Why did they give him a 5X? Why? Who gave that? Who gave him that? Anyways, there's no excuse for him to be fat for the majority of the season, but he's not fat. He isn't. I've never really been on the Luka Weight Watcher thing because for me, I don't know. It feels disingenuous a lot of the time. It doesn't feel constructive usually. I thought his conditioning was better this past season than it's ever been. Again, as highlighted by the fact that over the course of December and January, he was averaging over 40 minutes a game during that 2-month stretch when Kyrie was out. The thing that I've always said about Luka that sort of relates to his conditioning, and this is the thing that always gets me screamed at, it always gets me yelled at, always. It's gotten some very mean things have been said to me over this, but I'll stand on it. He plays too much basketball. There's going to have to come points in time in the not so distant future where he's going to have to tell Slovenia, I can't do it this year. I cannot play summer basketball. I have to take 4 months off. I have to take 3 months off of no basketball. And he basically got that this year, right? He basically got that. Slovenia did play in Olympic qualifiers, and they lost fairly early. So it's not like he played a full summer of basketball. But with these injuries, and you go back, and look, I know I get it. I understand. That's not what you want to hear. I 1,000% understand it. I don't say it like, fuck Slovenia, he shouldn't play for them. That's not like what I'm trying to say. I get how important he is to the country, like how much it means to him. I understand all of that, right? But I think there's a reason why you look at any NBA superstars, and pretty much none of them are playing in every single, summer tournament there is. And it's just looking out for the his long-term health and stuff like that. So there might have to be a Eurobasket or a World Cup where he just says, "Hey, I can't, not this summer," because the hope is that the Mavs are constantly in deep playoff runs. Now it is bizarre that it's like night to night he looks a little bit different. I don't want to say what I think that could be just because I don't want to put it out there, but as somebody with experience in it, I think I might know what it could be. But I don't want to throw it out there because I don't know, right? And I have somewhat of a platform. I don't want to just throw it out there. No, not a heavy dinner. Yeah, it does. It's alcohol related. How come people don't chat about Jokic being a Chubbs? Oh, they did. They did until he won. Everything will say everything about you until you win, and then it's over. And then you get like a 4 to 5 year grace period. Let's not forget that happened with Dirk. Dirk was soft. Dirk was a choker. Dirk wasn't a winner until he won. The Warriors, Steph, jump shooters can't win. Now we're going back a little bit. Jump shooters can't win. A jump shooting team can never win. You can't win playing this way until they won. Giannis can't win in the playoffs. Run and dunk man. Can't be a Batman. Remember that? That was like a very popular take. Like Chris Middleton was the Batman and Giannis was Robin. That was a popular take that people thought. Then he won. Well, I don't really count LeBron because everyone talks about LeBron still. But anyways, that's always what I say. Is like you look at Luka's reoccurring injuries, and maybe if he was in better shape, he could avoid these. I think most of the injury stuff with Luka is the fact that he plays so much basketball. I mean, it just wears and tears on his body. And we're not talking about a role player. We're not talking about a guy who like spots up. We're talking about a guy who has the ball in his hands pretty much every single time he's up and down the floor. Woj bomb. Oh, God. What could this possibly be? I don't see a Woj bomb. You're banned. Is this the Cooper Flagg New Balance shoe endorsement deal? Cooper Flagg New Balance. His usage rate or minutes are too much. Mavs have to find a way to win a normal non-Luka Davis way. Oh, agree 1,000%. And I want to make this clear too, because anytime I say the thing about he can't play this much for Sylvania, like he can't play this much, there has to be summers that he takes off. This happened last summer when in the World Cup when Sylvania got eliminated, and then they I guess you have to play a certain number of games, so they played in what was, and I called it a meaningless game, and people got very upset. Meaningless in the sense the outcome doesn't affect really anything at all. The day after they lost, he played 39 of 40 minutes, and I said that is unbelievably irresponsible. And I got screamed at. And everyone was like, dude, he plays 40 minutes with the Mavericks. Guess what? I think that's irresponsible too, and I say it all the time. I hate Luka's minute structure on the Mavericks. I hate how many minutes he plays. I hate how much the Mavs are dependent on him to do stuff. Okay? Woj nexus of it. Oh, man. Why did they give him a 5X jersey? Why? You set him up. You set him up for failure. The outcome was for international seeding. I don't think it was, though. I don't think it was. I'm talking about the game they played, like, in Latvia. Was it Latvia or Lithuania? One of the two. Whatever team Jonas Valanciunas is on, he's Lithuanian. Right? I don't think there was... I think there was nothing at stake in that game. That's maybe a better way to describe it. Oh, man. I've never fucking heard of Latavia! I guess Sylvanians wanting him to play every summer to represent them, but Mavericks NBA pays very high salary. It's a complicated thing. It's more so just looking out for the long-term health. The long-term health. And, it's also like, if you're Slovenia, it's like you got to look out. You got the 2028 Olympics that you hope to be at, 2032 Olympics, right? I think Luka this year will have less of a responsibility, and he will not have to carry the entire roster offensively, barring injuries. Lively will be our leading scorer with 27 points per game. All right. That would be something else. That would be shocking. Cook. Who the hell let him cook, man? All right. Before we segue on to our next... What are we even going to talk about next? Should we talk about the 2K? I thought we already did the 2K rating. What did we do that one day? Did we not go over all of the 2K ratings? What was that for then? Was that old? Maybe. Anyways, 2K dropped their top 10, so we'll go over 2K's. It was predicted rankings. Wow. Please don't go over the 2K ratings. I can't believe we spent time doing that then. Unbelievable. Real quickly, though, I was thinking today, maybe had a little bit of a moment. By the way, I am proud of myself. We've been maintaining the stream schedule Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I haven't really dropped too much other content, but working on some other stuff. Growth has stagnated a little bit, but I knew that was the case. I knew that was going to happen during this little stretch here. I do have a big video coming out on Thursday. So mark the calendars. I went back and I watched every single Luka Doncic assist this past season. And I'm compiling my favorite. Going to talk about why I think he's the best playmaker in the NBA. And my God, I mean, honestly, doing this, anytime I sat down and spent time sitting and watching, it just made me want to go play basketball. Like, I can't believe people don't think this guy is so incredibly fucking fun to watch. Like... It's insane. So how many assists total is that? 686 regular season assists, and 178 in the postseason. So do the math there. Do the math. It was a ton of fun going through all these, honestly. Like, it's just absurd. His passing bag is... I mean, it might be the deepest in the history of the sport. Like, I'm not, admittedly, I'm not like a super big basketball historian. I mean, I feel like I know my stuff, but I can't sit here and say that I watched X amount of Magic Johnson games. I didn't. But my God, the passing bag that Luka has, that's something that doesn't get talked about. You talk about scoring bags and, dribble moves and stuff like that. The passing bag that Luka has and what he could get to is fucking nuts. So nuts. Trae Young a better passer, low key. Trae Young is a great passer. Trae Young has an incredible passing bag as well. Super deep passing bag. What would separate Luka is he's just bigger. He's just bigger, It is, and I think he's gotten so much smarter over time, which is crazy because he came into the league super, with just unbelievable basketball IQ. But there's this one move where he's at the top of the key. The screener's coming, right? Lively, Gafford, Dwight Powell. Somebody's coming to set a screen, and he goes to this hang dribble, right? He's setting up his defender. I'm about to go into this screen. And what he's actually setting up and manipulating is the helper in the corner who's going to slide in a little bit to tag the roller. And he's just waiting for that guy to take one step into the paint and take one step away from his guy in the corner, and he's whipping a live dribble skip pass. It's crazy. It is insane. And that's all it takes. He's literally just waiting for your body weight to shift so that when the pass flies, you're just a step late. It's crazy. I'm thinking of that hang dribble skip pass that versus Raptors where Derrick Jones Jr. bricked it. Yeah, so I only watched the assists. So there's plenty of potential assists that are incredible pass that we didn't get. That I thought was the best pass of the season from Luka. That hang dribble pass against the Raptors to the corner that whipped over like 4 people's heads. That was one of the most insane passes I've seen. The wraparound versus the Lakers for Dante 3, that's in there. That's in there. So anyways, real quickly before we get to the 2K ratings, I guess, which is something we're doing. The LeBron nutmeg. Yeah, it's funny because he had there would be games, and there's really not a lot of Sabonis assists. There are a few where there's like 4 dribbles, and it's like, oh, that's an assist, really? That would be the case for anybody. But his assists are earned. Behind the back to Dwight Powell. All right, real quickly. If you're in here in the middle of August, I consider you a real slightly biased fan, a fully delusional club member, right? Today I was having just like this crisis almost, thinking about what we're going to do this upcoming season because, look, there's no 2 ways around it. I was pretty vocal about it. And, I was dealing with a copyright strike problem. But I was pretty vocal that by the end of the season, the chat on YouTube got to a point during games where it was just not enjoyable. It just wasn't. It was like really bad. And I think that's just the unfortunate progression as channels grow. Because I think going into this season, this would be the 3rd season where I've like really committed to streaming games, right? And when we first started, 100. If we got to 100 live viewers, I was super happy. I was like, oh shit, we're popping off, right? Typically around like 30, 40, 50. Then it got to, all right, we're typically around 100, like 500's popping off. And then by like the end of the season, by the end of last season, it was like 1,000, typically around 700, 800 at the minimum. And the chat just got out of control and it got really fucking bad. It just did. It was awful. There's like, it just sucked a lot of the fun out. The toxicity. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Obviously, we're going to be streaming games. That's not even a part of the question. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do it. Because I was just thinking, playback feels better to me. It just does. But there's also problems with playback. Like, you can't pause the stream. So if I'm ahead of somebody, I don't know. Does playback have auto mod capabilities? Good question, actually. Because what I was thinking, you guys know, last year we'd stream the games on here, and then we would do slightly early in the morning on playback. I was kind of thinking about maybe what would it look like if we flipped that? What would it look like if we flipped that? And playback's where we watch games, and that would allow us to switch games if the Mavs game's not close or whatever the case may be, and watch other games around. If there's a close finish that we want to sort of keep an eye on. And then every morning we'd come live on here and then talk about the games from the night before, whatever the case may be. I'm thinking about it. Playback is only good for people who have league pass. It's horrible for anyone else. And that's a thing too. Please remove fat Luka from screen. All right, my bad. You can run on both, but only respond and pay attention to the playback chat for the most part. The thing is though, and I know you can do that. You can stream on both. It's not what I would want it to look like. And that is part of the problem is it's like, you know, we have the green screen. We have fun little bits that probably wouldn't be happen on playback. You're going to get way less viewers as well, but it's way more manageable. I don't mind taking a viewer hit if the quality of viewers is higher, if that makes sense. Use a controller to act like you're playing 2K so you don't get copyright strike. Yeah, I'm not doing that. And that is another problem too, is the copyright strike dilemma. I mean, you take a hit on playback, but you still have a big amount of slightly early. Yeah, it's not. And also, too, I don't know. I kind of feel like we're capped out almost on live streaming games on YouTube. Like, I feel like for growing, the better route is we're doing like a daily live show here talking about games from the night before and any type of quality, anything that we see. Like, I think that's the pathway forward on top of videos as well. Because also, another thing, too, is, you know, I'm hopeful that Nick could pull some strings and maybe I get credentialed going into the season, which means I could go to home games more. So the schedule might be a little bit fucked as well. And I say this every year, but I'm really trying to branch out to do more NBA-centric content. It's just time. It's time. It's time. Make friends and just stream couch like those Barstool Live Watch streams. I think those are so bad. Just from a person, like on a personal level. I think those are terrible. Who no one here cares about other teams? That's not even true though. Do you enjoy streaming games? Sometimes not really. But yes, I do though. It is fun. You going to watch Wizards Blazers on stream and all that stuff matters? If we're on playback, yes. Yeah, I would. What on God's name is that wallpaper? This has been my wallpaper on this desktop since, God. I'm trying to remember when I got my first PC because it's just carried over. Probably like 2017, 2016. It's from my beautiful dark twisted fantasy Kanye West album. Maybe it's time to change it. Maybe it's time to change it. I mean, we're still talking about it. It'll still be a Maverick-centered thing. Always, of course. It'll be like how slightly early is. That's how slightly early is. We talk about the Mavericks like when they do anything, when they do stuff, but we talk about everything else as well. It wouldn't be like, I'm not talking about the Mavericks. It would be like, I'm talking about the Mavericks as well as this. I don't think the Mavericks are on Bally Sports anymore. I don't know. I didn't read that article, so I don't really know. Sometimes the Mavs games just suck opponent-wise and there's a better game to watch. Yes. Yes. And I say this a lot, but it's true. I watch so much basketball that it's just like follow well will still be there. It's just where is it that remains to be seen. I watch all your videos anyways, but do the Mavs vids drastically outperform general NBA ones? Yes, but that's because I haven't fully, you know, they're rare, and I need to make them not rare. And I've been saying that forever, but follow-up covering this year's Olympics women's soccer was such a trip. He's been covering football for quite some time. I don't know if that's just you or just your fan base likes Mavs videos more. No, it's like a majority of my subscribers are Mavs fans. Any chance we'll get a stray Cowboys game this season? No. Stream-wise, no. I streamed NFL games like right when this channel started a little bit. It's so boring. So boring to stream, at least in my opinion. Too much downtime. Yeah, exactly. And maybe just in the way that I was doing, like the traditional way, like that's right, a follower of the true football. That's true. That's what I am. Come on, England. All right. So 2K25 player ratings, or like a couple weeks ago, we reacted to some 2K player ratings that I guess were fake, and this is the real one. So that's nice to know that we wasted that much time. Top 100, I don't know if I want to go through the 100, to be completely and totally honest with you. Daniel Gafford's there. How about that? Daniel Gafford, top 100 player in the NBA. Higher than Jaden McDaniels? Okay. Just a quick little skim through here just to see if anything's weird. Cam Thomas, okay. I don't think Cam Thomas is a top 79 player in the league, but all right. You know, Jonas 77, Zubac 76. This just feels high, right? This feels a little high for me. Josh Hart's 70th best player in the league. I don't agree with that, really. But okay. Harden at 58. That feels low. That feels a little low. Gobert at 51. Okay. All right. DeJounte Murray at an 86 overall. Better than Gobert. Better than Mikal. Better than B.I. Better than Şengün. How do we feel about that one, folks? Better than Mobley. I'm not sure if all these guys are like tied, if they just threw them in there and it didn't matter what order. I'm kind of assuming that's what the case is here. Don't look where Clay is. $85. That's about where I had him in my end of year one, so that makes sense. I'm not mad about that. I'm not too terribly mad about that. All right. I really only care about the top 10. Trey at an 89. All right. Who's higher than Trey? Ja, Tyrese. Vic at 91 overall. I'm going to be real. I see no problem there. I see no problem with that. Somebody said Victor Wembanyama glazing earlier. I don't see a problem. And you know what? You want to know something? I'd put him in the 92 tier with these guys. Why not? Huh? Why not? Now, if we're just nitpicking, right? If Anthony Edwards is a 93 overall, why exactly is Donovan Mitchell not? Just got to say, Clay, D-Live, and Gaffney are all tied at 81 overall. Where did the Gaffney come from? Who was it that kept calling him Gaffney? What announcer was it? Oh, I forgot about Ant's Aura ranking. That's true. That's true. No, it wasn't Reggie. Was it a local broadcaster? Gaffney. All right, I'm interested in the top 10. So Anthony Edwards not in the top 10. A little surprising. Anthony Davis. Okay. I can get behind that. KD top 10 still. Yeah, get behind that. Tatum, obviously, he's the cover boy. Steph Curry. Okay. LeBron 6 overall. You want to know what's nuts? Oh, Dave Pash. I don't think that's even crazy. Like, would I say LeBron's the 6th best player in the league entering the season? Probably not. But I'm not gonna argue against it, really. Just insane. Shea 5th, Embiid 4th, Giannis 3rd, Luka 2, Jokic 1. Wow, I actually think they kind of nailed this, believe it or not. But believe it or not, I kind of feel like they nailed this. Top 5 feels right for me. Top 3, I'm good. Like those are the top 3 right there. We talked about this whenever I crashed out about the Luka Giannis thing a few days ago. And I want to say I feel badly about that in hindsight. It feels like I was, shitting on Giannis. And that's not what I was trying to do. I love Giannis. I think he's really good. But okay. All 3 of those guys, the same overall in the top 3. That's right. That's about right. The top 5, Embiid and Shea. Okay. That's probably what I would do. I think they actually kind of nailed it. Durant being below Tatum feels wrong. Yeah, you have to remember Tatum's on the cover. So I feel like you always get a boost there. And I mean, look at the Kyrie respect. 92 overall. Same overall as Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell. Higher than Tyrese Halliburton. Higher than Ja. They got Paolo at 89. That's high. They're going for it. 2K Mavs beat the 2K Celtics. Let's go. Nice. It's great news. So, are we... This game comes out in 10 days. I didn't realize that. This game comes out in 10 days. They had Franz a little low. I saw it, 86 overall. J-Dub at 86 kind of surprises me that he's not higher than that. Kate at 86. All right. I like the respect. I like the respect there. 2K kind of nailed this. Why did 2K kind of nail this? The respect for LaMelo as well. Now, Sabonis at 88 overall, right? Do we really think Sabonis is better? Well, yeah. I was gonna say some of these names, but yeah, I'd be arguing by myself pretty much. All I need is for the AI to understand how defense works, and I like this 2K. So 2K, it comes out in less than 10 days now. I saw this a couple days ago, and I bookmarked it because I wanted to talk about it on stream because I thought it was funny. Anytime these come out, NBA 2K25 versus NBA 2K24, what am I looking at? What exactly am I supposed to be seeing here? Like, there clearly is supposed to be something I noticed. I'm like, whoa! And if it weren't for this, I wouldn't know what the difference was. And I'm going to be real, the 2K24 just looks better to me. Doesn't it look a little tiny bit better? Now they say the court's bigger in 2K25. The court is bigger. It's a meme? Oh. It's the same one game they push every year. No, it is. I mean, it's shameless. I will say this, though. I've been playing some NCAA, and the good feelings, the honeymoon phase of NCAA being back are starting to wear off a tiny bit. And it's an EA game. Like, it just feels like an EA game through and through. Haven't played Madden yet. For my friends who play it, what I've heard, it's fucking terrible, as per usual. I will give 2K this. All right, the franchise mode is good. The franchise mode is good. It's fun. It's deep. There's a lot of things that you can do, and I'm a little bit interesting. I kind of want to do a rebuild on here. I kind of want to do one. We might. Do you play MyPark? Yeah, I play MyPlayer. I play with friends and stuff. And that's what really makes it fun is, you know, I feel like a basketball game is perfect for that. You get 5 friends, or 4 friends, I guess, including you. You build a player, you go and play. It is fun. Now the problem is you have to pay. You have to pay $100. Honest to God, it's so scummy. It's so fucking scummy. You have to pay $100 pretty much to build a competent player to be competitive in the online settings. It's shameless. You either have to spend hundreds of hours. Hundreds of hours. Genuinely hundreds of hours. Player lock and franchise mode is a move. I used to do that as well. But it is fun to do the playing online with your friends and stuff. Did that streamer 3v3 happen already? Yeah, it happened. We broke down the game film on here. You can go on the Slightly Biased Clips channel, shameless plug, and find it yourself. Those are doing okay. It seems like you guys appreciate those, so we're gonna keep putting that out. Those clips. I mean, it's super easy. And I guess in my brain, people, if they wanted to listen back, could just watch the streams. But then I'm like, sometimes it's 2.5 hours, and sometimes out of those 2.5 hour streams, 45 minutes of probably just rambling about nonsense. And it's nice to just have it concise, right? Is there any NBA 2K25 news?
Time to play the game.
Dude, this shit, these TikToks are so fucking funny. It's time to play the game. Bring back showing who called a timeout. No, don't bring that back. Don't bring that back. We don't want that. We love the who the fuck called the timeout? See, like this to me, the clips of like the movement, you don't know until you sit there and you play it. People spend all that money to build players. My team's just to never play the game. So I agree. It's shameless. I do wonder. And I will say, especially in the build up to the regular season when there's not a lot going on still, I'm bad. I spend money. I want to get my guy good so I can play with my friends. I get enough enjoyment out of it, and I spend enough time on it that it evens out for me in the end. But I agree that it's scummy. But what am I gonna do? Like not get it and play it? I don't. That's no. I'm sorry. No, there has to be a better way. And what's sad is I don't think we'll ever get it. Like we've crossed that bridge. We've crossed the bridge. 9,000 new dribble animations. my God. If you make your NBA 2K25 builds based off what content creators tell you instead of building a player that the way you like to play, you're already trash of the game. So, hey, just full stop. When I make a player, what do you guys think my player model's like? What do you guys think my play style is in 2K when I go play at the rec? Go play at the rec. Go play Pro-Am or whatever. Post. Big. Point forward. Zaza. Ball hog. Yeah, no, it's a 6'8" point forward. That's usually what it is. Usually go with the power forward, sort of Draymond-esque build, but I like being good at defense. And what I've noticed is if you go into a solo rec with random people, usually it's a travesty, but if you go in as like a point forward and you're kind of controlling things and you're playing good defense and you're getting rebounds and you're outlet passing or you're bringing the ball up and making good passes, it's a lot more enjoyable than if you're going there as like a pick and roll big and your point guard is chewing crowns, right? It's a lot more enjoyable. What separates a point forward and a point guard on offense? Well, point guards would have the ball in their hands. Really, it's a size thing, but in my brain, if we're taking like the idea of positionless basketball out of it, because people would like to call Luka a point forward. I call him a point guard. In my brain, point guard is bringing the ball up, right? I'm initiating all of the offense. I'm picking in pick and rolls. I have the ball in my hand. A point forward is more like I'm grabbing a rebound. I'm pushing the ball up. I'm playmaking out of that. Think of like a Draymond Green. And LeBron has had like moments where he's played like a point forward role and moments where he's played a point guard role. I think he's a lot closer to being like a point guard in like the last 6 or 7 years than earlier in his career when he was like more of a point forward. That's just how my brain goes. I mean, it differs based off of whoever you're talking to. Oh man, I love it's crazy. I today 30 minutes before the stream started, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to talk about. Andre Kirilenko, yeah. I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about. I go on Bleacher Report. Man, they churn out these articles every day. Every single day they churn these out. No, Sabonis is not a point guard. We need a Slight Bites Community online 2K league. That would be kind of fun, actually. I did me and my friends, we made a 2K league last year, and it was pretty fun, but it broke. It broke. We got like halfway through the season, and about half the people, they couldn't play their games anymore. It like would kick them out anytime they tried to do a play a game. It kicked them out. I don't know. This is so fucking funny. I dribble handoff build. Oh man, a dribble handoff build. That would be great. Oh, it was Mamba Day a couple days ago. 8:24. Nick sent me a screenshot. I wonder if you're in here. I'm not going to say your name. You are blocked from the channel. Somebody was, I guess, talking reckless in the Locked On. The Locked On Premier chat. This is news to me. And I recognize this person's name, and he's blocked, for sure. I banned him from the channel. I think I am going to stream 2K. What equipment do I need? Well, I've asked this before. We'll figure it out. I hate slightly. Next comment. I can see him being an acquired taste. That's true. I got no problem for that. Hey, I got no problem for hating me. That's cool. He's a Ladiva ball slurper. And Kobe hater. Can't get more cringe than that. Ladiva ball slurper. Hey. I think he's the GOAT. Okay. Kobe hater. Have I ever... I don't know where that came from. What's wrong with slightly? He worships the narcissist. the LeBron nicknames are classic. Well, he is slightly biased. True. Wait, he's communist? Question mark. That too. What? I love these people. The LeBron super haters are hilarious. That too. Look, I won't try to hide it that I'm a LeBron guy. I really am. I really am a LeBron guy. No shame in the game there. A Kobe hater. I don't know where that came from. Have I ever hated Kobe on here? I feel like I almost never even talk about Kobe on here. I can't recall you even talking about Kobe in a minute. I know. That's what I'm saying. Some people call you a Kobe hater if you don't have him top 5 all time. Now that I'm thinking about it, in a hot takes video, somebody said Kobe was one of the most overrated players ever. Or something like that. And I didn't agree. But I did say you can make an argument he was never the best player in the league. And that's definitely potentially true. Or no, somebody said he didn't have a top 20 peak of all time. I hate when people call Luka point forward. Tim with the $5. Thank you very much, Tim. I hate when people call Luka point forward. He's not. He's a point guard. Was Magic also a point forward? Nope. Scottie Pippen ran some point forward. It's like Bill Simmons has this like vendetta to not call Luka a point guard. He's like, well, Luka's more of a wing. Luka's more of a forward. It's like, no, he's fucking not, man. He's the guard. All right. The Mavs literally build their roster around Luka being a guard. They go out and they get size to play the 4, to play the 3. Like they don't build around like, well, Luka's the 4. The ESPN top 100 list, he might have said something. Maybe. I guess in my brain, I don't hate Kobe at all. Where I was going with that was a couple of days ago they did a Kobe Day thing on the sneakers app, the Nike sneakers app. Oh man, I thought I got him. I thought I got some. My dumbass, man. I got to the screen where I got my size and I didn't realize that you get put into a raffle. I wanted the Italian camo Kobe 6s, and I thought I got them. And just for frame of reference, they're reselling for $460 on StockX. Just an absurd price to pay. Just an absurd price. I agree. That's way too much. And I also put my name in the raffle for the, of course, the reverse Grinches, which are sick. The problem is, though, with the reverse Grinches, which, by the way, are reselling for $485. The problem is, if you wear those, you better fucking be good. Like, you better be a hooper. And, you know, I don't know if I fit the billing there. That's true. A guy in the tourney did have them. And the team that beat us was wearing the reverse Grinches. And he was cooking us a little bit. Now, when I say us, I don't necessarily mean me, but he was cooking. You guys, I didn't tell y'all I won the purple Kai's from Kyrie Discord. Nice, dude. B-Dot, you could pull him off. I feel like you have to play like a guard. I don't really play like a guard. Yeah, Kyrie Discord does feel dangerous. I was thinking the same thing. If we want to label players out of their positions just based on BS and Steph Curry's a shooting guard, I do agree Steph plays more like an off guard. But at that point, you're really arguing semantics. Like, it doesn't really matter. So anyways, yeah. You know, Nike's... The Sabrina 2s, I really like the Sabrina 1s. The Sabrina 2s are really good looking. But they are, like, pretty... blatant Kobe clones, which I don't have a problem with. She was close with Kobe. But they're pretty blatant Kobe clones, right? The new Ja Morant 2s are also just blatant Kobe ripoffs as well. I didn't think the Ja Morant 1s were Kobe ripoffs. The Ja Morant 2s are blatant Kobe ripoffs. And it just sort of feels like Nike's just like, fuck it, dude. People like Kobe's. Every shoe needs to look like Kobe's. I even think a lot of the new LeBrons look like Kobe's. Like, this looks like a Kobe ripoff. And I had a friend who was like, dude, like, I'm thinking about getting this. He already has a pair of the Sabrina 2s. He was like, I'm going to get the Ja 2s and blah, blah, blah. Like, they all look like Kobe's. I'm like, if you buy 3 or 4 Kobe ripoffs, you should just buy a pair of Kobe's. Just save up and buy a pair of Kobe's. But at the same time, I can't justify $400 for a fucking pair of basketball shoes. It's just insane. The Kobe Juniors. All right, where do we want to go next? We have a couple articles. Let's get the ESPN one. How are we still churning these out? What's up with the Luka 3s? I don't like them. Some of the newer colorways are fine, but how do you feel about them reopening Kobe's line? I feel like it's a little disrespectful, but if Miss Bryant needs it, I don't care. I don't know. They're such beloved shoes that in a way it's sort of carrying on, you know, his name and his legacy, that in a way that I think it's tasteful. I don't think it's distasteful. You know what I mean? They're doing it in a tasteful way. And also, if they keep recirculating Kobe's, then you don't have the disgusting resellers who are then selling Kobe shoes for thousands and thousands of dollars. Can Vanessa Bryant ban Dwight Powell from wearing Kobe's? That is true. That is true that Dwight Powell is wearing the Grinches. That makes me feel like I could go that route. You know? All right. Another ESPN article, NBA offseason survey. A little bit surprising to me that they're turning these out. I keep saying it in August, but hey, content is content, and I thank them, and I applaud them. I really do. NBA offseason survey, coaches, execs, and scouts predict the MVP and the title winner. Where do NBA decision makers see this season heading? Last month, we published first half of our annual NBA offseason survey, breaking down the best, worst, most surprising, blah, blah, blah. Now we're revealing what 18 NBA coaches, scouts, and executives are predicting for the 2024-2025 season and beyond. Okay. Now, who in the fuck, immediately, who's the NBA's best player right now? Who the hell picked Anthony Edwards? What is possibly the reasoning there? Jokic gets 15 votes. Now, keep in mind, this is coming off of a very great Olympic performance as well. Luka does get 2 votes. Anthony Edwards. What? It's his time. Man, this is a damn shame. I love Anthony Edwards. You guys know this to be true. Can we please settle down? Please. Like the MJ comparisons were already unfair to him. Like, can we please settle down? A little bit surprised no Giannis love. I mean, Anthony Edwards, but no Giannis. Who will be the NBA's best player in 5 years? All right, so I'm assuming if Anthony Edwards got a vote here, he's going to get several here. Now, my interesting thing is we have 18 experts. Let's try to predict. 18 experts. I'm going to guess 12 say Victor Wembanyama. 4 say Luka. And 2 say Anthony Edwards. Let's see if I'm right. Wemby does get 12. Isn't that what I said? Shea with 2, Luka with 2, Ant with 1, Jokic with 1. I don't really have a problem with this. I actually think the pathway for Shea to be the best player in the NBA is difficult. I think Shea being like a top 5 guy, a perennial top 5 guy works. But when I look at the Lukas, the Wembys, and I'll add Wemby into that, like the idea of Wemby, the Jokic's, even the Giannis's, it's like they do several things at an absolute elite level. Shea is an elite scorer in every single sense of the word. He's a good defender. He's an okay playmaker. Whereas Luka, elite scorer, obviously just led the league in scoring, an elite playmaker in every sense of the word. Wemby, an elite defender already, with the pathway to be this sort of, multi-dimensional offensive player because of his size and skill. That makes the pathway for Ant a little bit difficult for me to imagine as well. In Jokic, obviously. We already know. But I don't think this is that bad. People are forgetting about how good Ja is. Ja's great. Best player? I don't know if I can get there. Who will be the 2024-2025 NBA MVP? Didn't we do this one? Shea with 7, Luke with 5, Ant with 2, Jokic with 2, Tatum with 2. It's going to be Luka. Pinson and Derek Lively did a panel for young NBA players about building their brand, and they all said they believe Shea had a deeper bag than Luka. I mean, Shea's got a very deep bag. Having a deep bag does not always necessarily translate to being the better player. Like, there's probably times when Jamal Crawford had the deepest bag in the NBA. I mean, Shea winning the MVP is definitely a possibility this year if the Thunder get to 60 wins. Definitely a possibility. I just think if the Mavs get to mid-50s and wins, which I think they will, assuming they're healthy, it's got to be Luka's year. It just has to be. And it's possible. It's a struggle for me. Jokic, I just don't think I just can't imagine they give Jokic his 4th in 5 years. I can't imagine they give Jokic his 4th in 5 years. Now, to be fair, I said I didn't think they'd give it to him last year either. Tatum with 2 votes. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Wicked, 23 months. We spread propaganda better. SB, AMC reference. What's AMC? What's AMC? The movies? The movie thing? Difference is a deeper bag and who you want taking the last shot of a game. No, Luka's already exhausted any goodwill. He's not going to win unless they're the 1 seed, and he averaged a near 30-point triple-double. I mean, the discourse surrounding Luka this summer is strange for sure, but if the Mavs are winning games again, I don't know. Who will be the NBA? Didn't we just do this? Like, what is the difference between this and the poll they just did? Who will be the NBA 2024-2025 NBA Rookie of the Year? Edie with 8 votes, Reed Shepard 5, Sar 2, Castle 1, Tristan De Silva gets a vote, all right? Dillingham gets a vote. Didn't we just do this? Edie would be my pick right now. I just think he's going to have the most opportunity on a team that's trying to win. First pick not even mentioned? Yeah, that's true. I wonder how often, if ever, in like a thing like this, the number 1 overall pick, unless there was an injury, was just like, yeah, he's not winning that shit. Surprised not one person was like, Risha Shea, like if Risha Shea goes to the Hawks and he's just like what they expect him to be immediately, which is just this 3-and-D wing, and he's averaging like 14, 15 points a game and shooting the 3-ball well and playing decent defense. I mean, it's not like it's a great rookie class. At least it shouldn't be. Who will be the best player from the 2024-2025 rookie class in 5 years? Reed Shepherd comfortably. Castle number 3. Klingon number 2. Interesting. Or Klingon with 2 votes. Topic with 2 votes. Bazula's with a vote. Bub Carrington with a vote. Dalton Connect with a vote. I struggle with Dalton Connect. Isn't he already old? He'll be like 28, 29 years old 5 years from now, wouldn't he? Reed Shepherd, I can see. Now, interestingly enough, no Sarr here, which in theory, this would be where you put Sarr instead of the Rookie of the Year, because Sarr is raw, a 7-footer. Like, the idea of Sarr. Again, no Risa Shea anywhere. No Risa Shea anywhere. Reed Shepherd's a pretty good pick. He looks good. He fits the bill. Castle's not a bad shout, though. If his 3-ball comes around, and I know that's saying a lot. If Topic hits, the Thunder are just going to be so fucking stupid. Which team will win each conference? Dude, we've done this. Celtics, Bucks with 2 votes, Knicks with 2 votes, Sixers with a vote, Thunder with 14 votes, Mavericks there with 2 votes, and the Timberwolves there with 2 votes. No Denver. No Denver here. Who's missing in the East? This is the 4 teams you kind of associate in the East with making like a real run. Interesting. Who will win the 2024-2025 NBA title? Celtics, Thunder. Celtics with 8 votes. Thunder with 7. Thunder close. Mavs with a vote. All right. That's all. Hey, we just want some respect. That's all. Bucks and Timberwolves. Well, I have to be honest with you. I don't understand the difference between this article and the other article we read days ago. It was almost the exact same thing. Hey, we're milking content. I get it. Who am I to judge? Sarr's Summer League was so ridiculously scary. Yeah. But, I mean, he's a raw player. We did kind of know that. But there's not a lot of things working in his favor. The Summer League being as terrible as it was, like that bad. Like, dude, you're 7 feet tall and you have that efficiency in Summer League? The not wanting to work out with the Hawks. Like, there's just a lot of things. Angel Reese of the NBA, yeah, but he doesn't rebound, though. At least Angel Reese is putting up 25 rebounds a night. There's no universe where a sophomore OKC will win the championship. No, there's a universe. There's definitely a universe. OKC is really good. They could definitely win. They could definitely win the West, too. I mean, they're betting favorites. And I don't know. Gun to my head, I don't know who I would pick. Just being honest with you. Drummond is the Angel Reese of the NBA. 14-2 OKC versus Dallas feels disrespectful. I don't think it is. I don't think it's disrespectful, to be honest with you. I mean, you really want to talk about it like this. We haven't had back-to-back champions in the NBA since the Warriors, right? Beyond that, and my math could be a little bit off here, but I don't think we've had teams make the finals in back-to-back years since the Warriors. It was the Raptors Warriors. That was the Warriors, fifth straight trip to the finals at that point. And then from that point forward, you go the bubble year, and it's the Lakers versus the Heat. Next year, it's the Bucks versus the Suns. The next year, it's the Celtics versus the Warriors. The next year, it's the Heat versus the Nuggets. Then it's the Celtics versus the Mavericks. That's crazy, huh? As all the talk about there not being a lot of parity in the NBA. We've had different teams in the NBA Finals, 5 or 6 straight years? I would be shocked if that's the case again, if the Celtics don't make it. And you know the Mavericks got a shot, baby. We definitely got a shot. That's all we ever needed. Isn't Angel Reese terrible shooting inside the paint? Yes. All right, well, Bleacher Report time. Bleacher Report time. Now, you guys say that these are all AI generated. I'm not so sure. I applaud them. Bleacher Report's churning these bad boys out. I'm not so sure that these are AI generated, but hey, either way, it's content. It gives us something to talk about. Shout out to our man Grant Hughes. Guys, it's Grant Hughes, man. It's not AI. It's Grant. Come on, guys. We all know Grant. Come on. One question still facing every NBA team ahead of the 24-25 season. Let's talk about it. Every NBA team. Wow. The dedication. Atlanta Hawks, how much longer will the Trae era last? Man, bearded Trae is just a wild sight. I think we could get there, Trae. Bald with the beard. I think we could get to a point where we're cooking with some fire. Okay? How much longer will the Trae era last? Now, I love whenever I do these on Bleacher Report. I don't read this. I just read the headline, and then we talk about it, and I completely ignore all of this. That's just the way it is, man. That's just the way that it is. Beard Aura is definitely 5 more wins. I do kind of agree. Now, if you get the bald with that, that's an additional 5 wins. So that's 10 wins right there. And now we're talking about like a 43 to 44 win season for the Hawks. Something to consider. I mean, that's easily getting you in the play-in in the East. That's easily getting you in the play-in. That might be the 8th seed. That could very well be. Yeah, I mean, this is the question for sure. This is the question surrounding the Bucks. Well, Jokic got 5 more wins this season. Bearded Jokic is kind of crazy. I mean, we kind of went over this a couple last stream when we did the breaking down the biggest moves of the last 5 off seasons. And the Hawks are still paying out the DeJounte Murray thing. Like, they don't really have control of their own future in terms of their own draft pick. So trading Trae becomes that much more difficult because give Trae all the shit in the world that you want. He gives them a higher floor, right? Like, you're not going to be terrible with Trae on your team just because he's good enough to will you to wins. But how high is your ceiling is the question. That's really the question the Hawks have to determine. What does a Trae Young-led team, like, where could you even get? And it's, you know, we're going on year 7 now. Boston Celtics, what does the center rotation look like? Is this like one of the sneaky, we're in January and February and the Celtics are like the 3 seed? And it's like, dude, they need a center so bad. Is this like a sneaky thing? I think Trae would be great with Miami alongside Bam. Yeah. I could see that. But Trae in that Miami system defensively sticks out like a sore thumb. But they've had Hero and they've had Rozier now. Like, I think they're going to be fine too. But I could see it where, like, KP's out for a while to start the season. We know that. How long? We're not sure. But we know he's going to miss time. And it's Horford, who's old. And then it gets to Cornette and Tillman, who are fine, but not really what you would associate at like a championship winning team starting center rotation. Unless they want to do some variation of like a small ball thing. I don't even know what that would look like, though. But, you know, Cornette and Tillman are fine depth, like, emergency options. Brooklyn Nets, who will make plays? Who will score? Who will do anything on this fucking team? Anytime, I just think about the Nets. I'm like, who's doing what on this team? Like, is Cam Thomas going to shoot 30 times a game? We thought that last year, but Mikal Bridges was there. Is Cam Thomas going to shoot 30 times? Is this team going to be the most disgusting team we've ever seen? Dorian Finney-Smith point forward? I'm here for it. The Nets will challenge for their worst record in the league, but this doesn't have to be a loss season. If Brooklyn can emphasize team play and ball movement, perhaps coaxing more facilitation from its scoring-minded guards, the rest of the roster can still make process. That's one of the things, too. And I've talked about this in the past. There are plenty of, like, pass-first, floor general point guards out there that are dirt cheap. Plenty who aren't even in the league. If you're a team you know is going to suck, you know, and you're trying to develop other guys that you know can't really create for themselves or can't do that, why not just go pick these guys up? Is there a world where we grab Dodo at the deadline? Yeah, maybe. Charlotte Hornets, is this still LaMelo Ball's team? Oh, that's a great question. That's a great question. Now, you guys know I love my Charlotte Hornets. Hey, I'm a big believer in them this year. I think 7 seed is about what I'm predicting currently, with maybe a secret push to the 6 seed. Secretly. A secret push. And I'm here for it. And I'm going to be right. Like, here's the thing. Law of averages. If every single year I predict the Hornets breakout, I will be right at some point in time. And I will continue to do it until I'm correct. Okay? This is a great question, though. Is it Brandon Miller's time to shine? And if that's the case, then what does that mean? Is LaMelo cool with that? But also, let's not forget how fucking good LaMelo Ball is, man. I'm if LaMelo Ball's healthy, he's wearing ankle braces. That's actually been a big storyline this offseason, and for the Hornets specifically. LaMelo Ball is committing to wearing ankle braces. He's played 36 games 2 years ago, 22 last year. Jesus Christ, man. Jesus. Insane. I just don't want you guys to forget about LaMelo. He's 6'7". All the stuff he can do. I don't see a year 2 Brandon Miller being better than LaMelo. That would be surprising. LaMelo's tattoos give him -5 aura. Yeah. Colored tattoos are always a risk, man. Tattoos with color are just risky. They're risky stuff. Chicago Bulls, can they get anything for Zach LaVine? Is this really the question for the Bulls? I don't know. I feel like the question for the Bulls is, can Josh Giddey be the guy? And I know I circle back to the Josh Giddey stuff all the time, but that's the question. That is absolute. The Zach LaVine shit. Zach LaVine's not realistically a part of your future. He is in the sense that maybe you can't trade for him, so he's on your team. But he's not. The moment you can get rid of him, you're going to. Can Josh Giddey be like a legit franchise cornerstone for you? That's the question. Because you're about to have to pay him. I think Giddey's due for a contract extension in the summer. Next summer. That has to be the number one question. LaVine, if you guys remember my top 100 list going into last season, Zach LaVine was high on that list. Not again. Not again. Cleveland Cavaliers is 3rd time the charm. Yeah, obviously for the Cavs, is this core going to work? Now the good news for them is if it doesn't, I mean, whoever you want to trade, unless they just have disaster seasons, but whoever you want to trade to sort of change things up, you should get good return for. Like, I guess if Darius Garland has another down year, his value really takes a hit. But if Darius Garland bounces back and for whatever reason you're still not good enough and you want to trade him and keep Donovan Mitchell, you can get good value for Darius Garland. If you want to trade Jared Allen, you could get good value for him. If you want to go crazy and trade Mobley, you could get good value for him. Or Donovan Mitchell even. So I feel like they're actually in a pretty good spot. I don't know if they're like real contenders, but they're not in a terrible spot. Dallas Mavericks, will they miss Derrick Jones Jr.? So watching back all of Luka's assists, that video's dropping Thursday, by the way. Me talking about Luka's playmaking. There's going to be a noticeable change in terms of athleticism. Especially, a lot of Luka's hit-ahead passes were to Josh Green. A ton of them were. A huge chunk of them were to Josh Green. There were a lot of Derrick Jones Jr. cuts on the baseline lobs. A lot of Derrick Jones Jr. leak outs. So the Mavs are going to look a little bit different. This is why I've pushed back against you guys who are like, why are people so disrespectful for the Mavericks? They're so much better. I'm like, well, we think they're better, and I'm confident they're better, but we're not 100% sure yet. They've lost some athleticism. Okay, they have lost some athleticism. They've lost some defense. If you just think about how the rotations are going to be. Now that's, losing some athleticism and not throwing as many lobs doesn't necessarily mean much, right? And it was kind of interesting when Josh Green got injured, had that ankle sprain against the Thunder, which I thought was an Achilles tear, famously. And his time on the floor just kind of shrunk a little bit. There were still leak outs and there were still hit aheads, but they were to the bigs. The bigs were running the floor, and PJ had some moments too. So, all in all, I think the Mavericks addressed more important areas of need rather than athleticism. Like shooting was something that absolutely had to be addressed, and it was. And obviously, the overwhelming majority of Mavs lobs go to the big. But here's the thing. If your hard-hitting question is whether or not you're going to miss Derrick Jones Jr., who you signed for the minimum last summer, I think you're feeling pretty good. Like you're doing pretty good. When we get in the Grimes video, at some point. There's still 2 months. Denver Nuggets, are the kids ready? Scary question to ask. Scary question to ask. Thank God Josh Giddey's not on this. Brown, Watson, Julian Strawther, Jalen Pickett, Hunter Tyson. Oh, man. Do any of those guys jump out to you? One of those guys has to step up and be a starter. Like, one of those guys has to be a good starter for you. And then you need at least one or two of those guys to be good bench players. I'm worried. I really am. I really am worried about them. The more I think about it, the less confident I get. Yeah, strong. I mean, they could be good. Detroit Pistons. Who will emerge as Cade Cunningham's top sidekick? I like this question, and here's why. It assumes correctly that Cade is that guy, which he is. I can't wait to be right about it. I cannot wait to be right about Cade Cunningham, really. The most skeptical observers might balk at the notion that Cade Cunningham is at a level where it even makes sense to wonder about the identity of his top running mate. Yeah! Hey! My guy Grant, man, we see eye to eye. It's a good question. Who's going to be the number 2? Ron Holland just got drafted. I doubt it's him immediately. Paul Reed. I doubt it's B-ball Paul. Jalen Duren. Man, you guys, I do love Jalen Duren. A lot of the defensive stuff with him is scary. Jaden Ivey, who has looked good at times for sure. I'm worried about him being an off-ball guy next to Cade because of the shooting stuff. And the same thing for Asar Thompson. Although, man, I'm buying in this AI knows ball. I'm buying in more and more and more on the Thompson twins as time goes on. I've just been quietly buying up stock, which is funny because I wasn't really that high on them going into the draft. They've got a lot of things that they need to iron out, but I'm quietly buying stock up on the Thompson twins, just saving it. Tim Hardaway Jr. obviously is an option for this. Can Tim Hardaway Jr. average 25 points? Golden State Warriors, does Jonathan Kuminga finally make the leap? The year will be 2031. Jonathan Kuminga will be 30 years old, and we will be asking the same question. We'll be asking if Jonathan Kuminga can land you a megastar in a trade. These are all questions we will be asking. Warriors fans think this guy's worth the same max contract that guys like Franz Wagner and Scotty Barnes got this offseason. I'm telling you right now, no, he's not. Okay? No, he isn't. Hopefully Kuminga can find some consistency, though, this season. Houston Rockets, Şengün, Green, neither or both. So I think the Rockets have their guys. I've thought about it a little bit more. I've talked about it all offseason. The Rockets have so many guys, but do they have a guy? I don't think it's either of these dudes. I'm just going to be real. Jalen Green's far too inconsistent. He has a lot of flash plays. I think he can be a good player in the NBA, but the guy on your team, it feels unlikely at this point. Şengün, to be 1,000% honest with you, I struggle to think. I think people call him Jokic light. I think Sabonis. They don't play directly, like they're not directly comparable in play styles. They're a little bit similar, but similar in the sense that if Şengün's your offensive hub, is he efficient enough? Is he good enough for that to have a ton of success? With Jokic, the answer is yes. But Jokic is one of the greatest offensive players the sport's ever seen. With Sabonis, the offense is good. When it tightens up, the offense isn't as good, and the defense is bad. And Şengün took a step forward defensively this past season, and I would say Şengün's upside defensively is higher than Sabonis for sure. Although Sabonis, did get Defensive Player of the Year votes. Şengün is good, don't get me wrong, but if the idea is who's like a guy we can build a championship team around as the number one guy, I don't know if it's either of these. Amin Thompson gets a jump. No, I'm just saying, Amin Thompson gets a jump shot. That's a guy. That's the guy. That is the guy. That is the guy. I'm buying up Thompson twin stock, man. Do you have to answer this question this season, honestly? I guess, what's the contract situation? Are they up for contracts? I'm assuming Jalen Green probably is. I don't know if this is like that pressing of a thing that you have to find out this season, but maybe it is. Maybe you want to figure it out. Yep, Şengün is going to get a fat fucking contract in the offseason. Probably the max, if I had to guess. Jalen Green's contract. Now that'll be interesting. That will be interesting. Is he going to get the max? No way, right? Unless he has a great season. I agree. Şengün as a max is kind of disgusting, but Jalen Green is interesting. That one's interesting. Did you forget about Dylan Dog Brooks? They're going to be... Actually, the Rockets are really interesting because remember that Fred VanVleet deal? The team option's for year 3. So Fred VanVleet might have a year left as well. Şengün and Jalen Green due for contracts. Ooh, they're interesting. Jalen Green had an insane month last season. Yeah, but the March super performances always trick people. And it tricks me as well. It always does. I did watch the Arsenal-Aston Villa game. Come on, you Gunners. Indiana Pacers. Are Benedict Mathurin and Jarris Walker trade chips? Ben Math. He needs a good year, man. He needs a good year. Was injured last year. Had a great rookie season. Finished 4th in Rookie of the Year voting that year. Finished 8th in Defensive Player of the... Or, not Defensive Player of the Year. That would be surprising. Finished 8th in Sixth Man of the Year voting. But there's just a lot of stuff working against him defensively. Offensively, is he a guy that, like... Is connective enough, if that makes sense? Doesn't really seem like it. Jarris Walker. You guys know I loved him coming out of the draft. He's going to be good. Didn't really get a chance to shine at all last season. And I don't know, just looking at their roster construction, I mean, they bring back Siakam, obviously, and then they bring back Obi Toppin. It's kind of a struggle to see where Jarris Walker fits into the equation again. I still think Jarris Walker is going to be a really good player. LA Clippers, is Chris Dunn shooting legit? Oh, man. So similar to what I said about the Mavericks earlier, if the biggest question is, can you replace Derrick Jones Jr., you feel pretty good. If your biggest question is Chris Dunn shooting legit, you're fucking bad. Dude, the Clippers might be really bad, man. Their defense is going to be good. They're going to be really good defensively. But, man, they're a Kawhi knee sprain away. Knock on glass. A James Harden hamstring strain away. From just being abysmal. Can you say that was a 2-0 type game? Villa deserved the W. I was a little bit nervous in the first 60 to 70 minutes, but once Arsenal got their goal, they were pretty much in control of the game. It was, I think Arsenal definitely was a little bit lucky to get out of there with a win. But hey, that's the game, man. That's why we love football. That's what us Brits call soccer, by the way. That's why we love it. Los Angeles Lakers is a trade on the horizon. All right, that's just evergreen. You can say this every fucking day about the Lakers or any LeBron team. Maybe. Is that trading LeBron to the Mavs? Maybe. Memphis Grizzlies, what's the plan at center? Well, it feels pretty obvious. Zach Edey, they're throwing him in the mix. Brandon Clark's coming back. And they're really hoping that Edey can be good in the NBA, at the NBA level. We'll see. From this camera angle makes it look like he's taller than 10 feet. Makes it look like he's a 12-foot human being. Miami Heat, can Jimmy Butler stay on the floor? I'm going to go ahead and spoil that for you. Probably not. Yeah, I've seen the Luka to the Lakers thing. I mean, the Lakers, they thrive off delusion. We know that. So Jimmy, with the Heat, 58 games in 2019-2020. Obviously, that was a shortened season. 52 games the next year, obviously a shortened season as well. Then 57 games, 64 games, 60 games. So just by the new rules of how you can qualify for awards, he would have never qualified for an award with the Heat. I have no idea. The Heat are just losing so much luster. And also, Jimmy's going to be 35 years old. Was still good when he was on the court. Don't think he's as good as he used to be, but it's not only can Jimmy Butler stay on the floor, but can Jimmy Butler be active, engaged, and really trying hard when he's on the court? That's the real question. Milwaukee Bucks, is Gary Trent Jr. up for the defensive challenge? It's a great question. I long have believed that Gary Trent Jr. is an overrated defender back when Portland Trailblazers fans were saying how great of a defender he was years ago. I've long believed that he's a tad overrated as a defender, and this feels... He's better than Malik Beasley, for sure. Okay? So, an upgrade there. But this feels similar-esque, where it's like, he's got it. Gary Trent Jr. will be the guy who defends the other team's best players. We're good. And by January, February, it's like, fuck. This is tough. This is a toughie. The toughie. The Heat are the perfect next Luka team. Minnesota Timberwolves, can Rob Dillingham be ready right away? Kind of similar to the Mavs. If that's their number one pressing question, they're in pretty good shape. They can survive if Dillingham's not that good immediately, and he just has a few flash moments here or there. They can definitely survive. I agree, probably not. He's just too small right now. But if he's immediately good and contending for Rookie of the Year, that's really big for them. I just question it. I question this. The size and everything is just... What is he, 150? New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, they better hope so, because who knows how much longer Mike Conley has. How will the Brandon Ingram situation resolve? I can't believe this hasn't been... This is still going on. That was one of the things when we did Slightly Unplugged. I was so convinced Brandon Ingram would be traded. So convinced that Brandon Ingram would be on a new team. And was shocked to learn that he was not. The Pelicans have a lot of questions, as per usual. Is Zion going to stay healthy and stay on the floor? It sucks because it actually feels like you got a pretty good Zion season last year in terms of how often he was on the court. 70 games, but then I don't even mean to laugh, but it's just it feels like you get lucky regular season wise with Zion's health, and then he gets hurt in the play-in tournament and misses the entire playoffs. Misses your entire postseason series. Has yet to play in a playoff game. I mean, the real question for them is who the fuck is playing center? Like, that's the real question. Maybe that ties into the Brandon Ingram, that maybe you can flip Brandon Ingram for another center, but you look around the league, who is that? New York Knicks, is there enough center depth? I mean, that's the obvious question for them. We've talked about that before. Oklahoma City Thunder, what's the closing lineup? Yeah, that's the question for them. It will vary, I have to imagine. They have a ton of optionality. They need shooting. They can make that work. They want, the rangy wing defenders out there. They can make that work. If they need the bigs out there with Chet and Hartenstein, they can make that work. Orlando Magic, did they add enough playmaking? So who did they add? KCP, Tristan da Silva? Was playmaking the real big pressing need? I felt like it was more shooting. Because Paolo and Franz for wings, not bad playmakers at all. You lose Fultz, who never healthy, wasn't that good last year. Yeah, Suggs not a great creator for a point guard. Respect Tristan. Yeah, I'm respecting Tristan. Philadelphia 76ers, can Joel Embiid be healthy when it matters? That's the only question that matters for the Sixers. That is the only question that means anything for them. They'll be good in the regular season. They'll make the playoffs. Will Embiid have 6 different things or 5? That's the question. We can deal with 5 different ailments bothering Joel Embiid. Once we get to 6, that's when we really start to have problems. Phoenix Suns, can the defense do it again? Do what again? Were they good defensively last year? They were 12th in defensive efficiency last year? Huh. Interesting. Now, my initial guess would be no. My initial guess would be no. That actually surprises me. 76 games for Nurkic last year, career high. It was the first time he played over 60 games since 2018-2019. So, feels unlikely you're getting that again. KD was 75 games. That's the first time he's played over 60 games since 2018-2019. If Ryan Dunn pans out, then yes. This is always hilarious to me. Ryan Dunn came out the draft. He might be one of the worst offensive prospects we've seen. That's what draft people were saying. That he might be one of the worst offensive prospects in quite some time. Great defensively. Guys, those guys aren't really playable. Those guys aren't really playable at high levels. They get played off the court. It's really hard offensively if you have a nothing out there. It's really, really, really hard. Portland Trailblazers, will the real Scoot Henderson please stand up? He was okay towards the end of the season. I agree. They need a big Scoot year. Not necessarily big, but you need to see some things you're like, okay. All right. There's the number 3 overall pick that people thought should have been number 2. There he is. We found him. We're good. I would say too, like, can we get a somewhat healthy Shane Sharp season? And can we see, dude, that's a guy that got, I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this. It was kind of a popular refrain on Twitter to say that Shane Sharp looked a lot like Kobe fucking Bryant. Like, that was a thing. That was a real thing. Can we get a healthy Shane Sharp, and can we get something out of him? Sacramento Kings, will the whole be less than the sum of the parts? So, this phrase, I see it all the time. It takes a little bit for me to understand what they're saying. I am stupid. Thanks to the trade that essentially swapped out Harrison Barnes for DeMar DeRozan, the Sacramento Kings are more talented than they were at the time last year. When they put their top 5 players on the floor, they'll have an abundance of creators and scorers. That's true. The twofold question is whether or not all that offensive firepower actually makes any sense together, and whether it'll give back so much on defense that the offensive games won't matter. That's exactly where I'm at with them. It is funny. Like, the record is pretty much the same as it was 2 years ago when they were the 3 seed, but the West wasn't a complete and total fuckfest like it was 2 years ago. I do question the fit. It's like DeMar's this mid-range operator. Sabonis likes to operate around the elbow as the hub. Fox had a good shooting season last year, but throughout his career hasn't been like this great three-point shooter. I don't know. It's a weird. It's weird. It wouldn't surprise me at all if this ends up being a little bit funkier. DeMar spacing will allow defenders to cut him off earlier. Keegan Murray is a slept-on piece here. Because he's just quietly been really good his first 2 years in the league. And if he can take like more strides next year, be around 40% from 3, with good defense, that is really the big difference maker. What are Bias' thoughts on the 4 years, $136 million for CeeDee? I feel like that's worth it. I mean, I don't know. Can Sabonis raise his elbows per game? That'll be tough. He's led the league 6 years running. I don't know how you improve off of where he's been at in terms of elbows thrown per game. Like, it's just mathematically, is it even possible? That's what I'm wondering, at least. Chris Murray's on the Blazers. Player's choice guy thinks Keegan can average 27. 27, huh? Like this upcoming season or in his career? I don't know if he gets the opportunity to get to 27 points per game. Keegan's a good player, though. I mean, just felt like there's not that much of a ceiling for the Kings. Yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. San Antonio Spurs, what new dimensions will Wemby showcase? Yeah, the question for the Spurs is, will Wemby be like a top 5 player in the league next year or like a top 15? Like, that's it. If it's top 15, if he's like the 14th, 15th, All-NBA third team, you're not going to be very good. If he's like top 5-ish in like sneaky MVP discussions, then that's interesting. But hey, he's going to the 4th dimension. Wemby will be like All-NBA second team and Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, that would be so fucking crazy. Given health, what is a disappointing season for Wemby? I mean, if Wemby's offensive game doesn't really improve, like if he's still inefficient from 3 and settles for a lot of threes and it doesn't look like he has like a post game or really like comfortable inside, I think that'll be a little disappointing. Will Wemby cause a Luka situation where he makes them too good to tank but not good enough to win a championship? The problem is, though, is the Mavericks were already up against it. They traded a first to move up and get Luka. So they didn't have that to build around. Then they panicked, and they saw how good Luka was immediately and traded the future, basically, for Kristaps. And that didn't pan out. The Spurs have, like, a ton of assets. Yeah, and I doubt they panicked. They could have panicked this offseason. Toronto Raptors, are we sure they chose a direction? Yeah, they chose a direction. They're paying Scotty Barnes. They think Scotty Barnes is their franchise. And they like Emmanuel Quickley and they like RJ Barrett. That's their direction. But it does kind of feel like they'll be middle of the pack. But maybe for them, they don't need like another star. Like maybe they just think Scotty's that guy. That's what it feels like. They could have traded OG for draft picks and just been like, we're going to tank. But they traded him for like players that helped them win now. And quickly in RJ. The Pirtle trade was bad. It's not too late to become a Chelsea Blue. Sorry, mate. Utah Jazz, will they pull the plug again? They already have. They already have. The plug's been pulled. The plug has been pulled. Jason Kidd cameo. What would the plug being pulled look like at this point? Clarkson and Sexton getting traded? Utah seems to want it both ways. Does it, though? I mean, it feels like they're going to be bad. Washington Wizards, who's ready for a Bobcat? Wait, what? It's rare to see an NBA team ranked dead last on both ends of the floor, but the Washington Wizards are built to be exceptionally bad. The Charlotte Bobcats are the gold standards, finishing 30th in both offensive and defensive efficiency during the 66-game lockout-shortened 2011-2012 season. Wow. Damn. All right, so in my brain, the Wizards are better to me than the Nets. Like, I think the Nets could be approaching the Bobcat status, honestly. Like, I think they're going to be fucking terrible. The Wizards... I mean, they'll be bad. Don't get me wrong. Maybe they trade Kuzma midseason. But in order for them to be that bad, Sar will have to be a 0 immediately. Or not even a 0, a negative. To where he's actually hurts you when he's on the court, which is possible based off what we've seen. Jordan Poole's season last year was not an anomaly, and he just sucks now. Possible, I guess. Kuzma's checked the fuck out and traded. Possible. I don't know. Now that I think about it, the Wizards are going to be horrible. Oh, man. The Wizards are actually going to be terrible. But then there's also a world where Sar's not as bad as he looked in Summer League. Poole has a bounce-back resurgence season. It's a Cam versus Poole chucker-off. That's true. True. Kuzma is going the political route. Kuzma's wasting his career there. Well, it seems like he wants to get into politics. So actually, he's pretty well built for it. Shit versus Dookie. Yeah, they should want to be as terrible as possible. And there will be a mean tank battle. Not only Cooper Flagg, but this is a pretty good draft class in general. Like, there will be a tank battle at the end of the season. Teams will shut it the fuck down. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, I wanted this stream to be an hour and a half. And naturally, it was over 2 hours, even though I said we had nothing to talk about. I need to leave. If you missed part of the stream, I will be uploading clips onto the Slightly Biased Clips channel. We'll be live again on Wednesday. What will we talk about then? I don't know. Got no idea. I will be on Locked On this week, recording with Nick later tonight. And a video. A good old-fashioned, slightly biased, produced video dropping Thursday is the plan currently. Folks, thank you all for coming out. All of the OGs, you guys know I love you very much, could have spent your Monday afternoon anywhere in the world. You decided to spend it here. New subscribers, I promise you guys aren't going to daily, not daily content right now, but content on this channel. Donations, members, thank you guys so much. You never have to do that, but it helps me out tremendously. It makes me feel so good. You guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. I'll talk to you all on Wednesday. See you all later. Bye.